Well, hello! Mwah, mwah, mwah! Welcome back to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you for joining us for Astrology class 38. Wow, we're moving along here. So, what we're doing at this point is we're kind of just sort of wrapping things up a bit, going over a lot of vocabulary and terminology, just so that you have an idea of what those things mean if you're just joining us. There's playlists, there's a link at the end of the video, down in on my icon, as well as hopefully in the description block. So, what I want to start with today, oh, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, I was showing you this rulership book because I did talk about dignities in the last class. So I wanted to go over this, this idea of rulership. Now, astrology, this is just full of keywords and that kind of thing. In fact, here's another book that this Rex Bill's book is kind of old, and I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if you can find books or information like this on the internet. I remember when I was first studying astrology, I was like thinking, God, this would be so cool to just be able to put in a database and pop out what stands for what. And here's another book that I've found really enjoyable. And this one is just about house keywords as opposed to the signs and the planets. But that's another really good one. So what's going on like in this book is this book literally has all these, see, can you see that? See that just, you know, information, keyword after keyword, and you say, well, what does that mean? And it's different, you know, parts of the alphabet. There we go. And, you know, all sorts of, just goes through all sorts of, you know, words, basically. So you can literally look up, like, a state. Like I'm from Colorado. And if I look up Colorado, it's going to have, you know, the ruler of Colorado is the sun. Originally I'm from Tennessee. You look up Tennessee, and a ruler of Tennessee is Gemini. You know, so you can just look up anything like that, any country, any the days of the week. I wanted to kind of point this out. I'm sure you guys have, especially if you take Spanish or anything like that, that's a little bit more obvious. You know, Monday is Moon Day, Sunday is Sunday, Saturday is Saturn Day, because that's when we're doing all of our errands and work and that kind of thing. Friday, and in Spanish, it's been a while, so I can't, I know it starts with a V, the word for Friday. Is, you know, that's when we meet our romantic friendships or go out and have a date, that sort of thing. And, you know, when I found out that Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, I remember being so impressed by that, because Thursday was always my favorite day. It's always been, for some reason. Tuesday, you know, we've gotten over our Monday blues, and we're ready to go back to, you know, to actually jump in there and get some work done. And Wednesday, we'll think about all the work that we've been doing. So that's just, you know, that's the kind of thing that, you know, we're talking about. And also, like in this book, not only does it just have everything you can imagine alphabetized, it also has keywords by every planet. Okay, so you know, sun, moon, etc. And then it goes through all the signs, and, you know, and there's just lists and lists of words. So if you want to, like, you know, what are dogs and cats ruled by? You look up doggies, thinking, you know, that's Virgo. Horses and elephants, bigger animals, that's Sagittarius. So you know, anything, like maybe you think you know, you want to move somewhere, you can look that up. And even like the houses, he goes through and does all the houses, you know, and what are keywords for first house, second house, and that kind of thing. And there's a whole astrology where you can like turn the dial and actually look at, like, you know, you can find a house for your aunt and uncles, or your spouse's uncles or grandparents or things like that. There's a whole ton of stuff like that. So if there's, you know, say you get bit by some bug, that bug is probably in here, you know. So there's a ton of information in there, and if you're running up against a problem or you need to do something, like, you know, it's a great place to get at least some insight into your astrology and what's going on around you. So I wanted to mention that. And another thing, because, you know, I'm doing all these, oh, and also forgot to mention, also, like, all the professions are in here too, like doctors, accountants. What do you think accountants are ruled by? Mercury, right? You know, getting down there, and Virgo, getting down in those little details and getting all the numbers straight and all that kind of stuff. So if you're thinking about a profession, you can look up the ruler and think, geez, do I really want to get involved in a Scorpio, you know, undertakers, a Scorpio Pluto kind of job or not? So, okay. So another thing that's real important with astrology are asteroids. So there is a belt of asteroids kind of in between Mars and Jupiter that are orbiting the sun. And, you know, some people think that there used to be a planet out there that kind of blew up and, you know, left all these little pieces. And there's a bunch of asteroids. And some astrologers just love them, okay, and really use them a lot. I sort of just look at them, to be quite honest. I don't disregard them, but I'm usually busy enough with just the regular planets to be satisfied with that, and the nodes and that sort of thing. But I did want to mention there's 4 main ones that I look at anyway. Juno. Oh, and the other thing too with the asteroids, it also gave a place for us to honor the goddesses. I mean, Venus is really our only female goddess in the main planets. So this is a place where we can start identifying, you know, that more feminine energy also. So Juno, of course, is Zeus's wife, or Jupiter's wife. Hera, she was called in Greek. There she is, a star on top of a cross. And so she kind of rules marriage and relationships in general. So that can be insightful for you. Ceres. I really like Ceres a lot. I'm a landscape person, and she's the goddess of agriculture. So I really like to, you know, kind of keep an eye on her and what she's doing and that sort of thing in my chart. Now, Vesta is an interesting one. She's the goddess of the hearth, you know, the keeper of the flame. And we can think of that flame as being kind of also our spiritual energy. So Vesta's a good one to look at for what's your purpose in life? Why are you here? What's you know, what are you doing? That sort of thing, you know, where should you be going in life? So that's a good one there. Now, Pallas Athena, she's kind of a bit of a war goddess, but war is in terms of on the defensive. So she's an interesting one, and she's also the goddess of wisdom. So she's also a good one to keep an eye on. So those are, like I said, there's a bunch more, but I wanted to just introduce those to you. I mean, and we could spend weeks and weeks on these asteroids, but I just wanted to show you the glyphs and just give you a quick idea of what those asteroids are. Now, I'm also showing Eris here. Now, Eris is a planetoid. It's way out there past Neptune, and, you know, out there and past Pluto and such. And Pluto got demoted. So Eris was just discovered in 2005, and she's her mythology is, and she's become quite popular these days because she's been hooking into this. I think I mentioned to you guys once that the United States is having its Pluto return, and she's kind of gotten involved in that. And she has like a 540-year orbit. It's huge. And, you know, I always go back to the mythology to understand these things. And she was the sister of Mars. And so, you know, you can imagine, how would you like to have Mars as your big brother? You know, wow, that would make you a fighter. And so she is a fighter. And so anyway, where she kind of got her fame and mythology is that there was a wedding up on Olympus and she didn't get invited. So you can imagine how that would kind of piss her off. And so she snuck up there anyway, and she had a golden apple, and on the apple it said, "To the fairest," and she threw it into the area where all the goddesses were hanging out getting ready for the wedding, right? And of course, you know those gods and goddesses, they weren't the most subtle and compassionate people. They weren't people, gods and goddesses. And so all these goddesses got in a huge fight, and actually, I think it sort of started the War of Troy and that sort of thing. So Eris is one that's you hear astrologers talk about, or it's kind of coming into frame a lot more these days. Oh, there we go. Oh well, we'll only get 2 bongs on this one. The next one I want to mention is the part of fortune. Now, the part of fortune is an Arabic point. And it's, what that means is, because remember, when Europe was going through the Dark Ages, the Arab society was actually blossoming. They were, it's our number system, and science and math was very big in that part of the world. So these Arabic points, and there are a ton of them. I mean, there's one for, stubbing your toe practically. I mean, I saw a list of them. I got a list of them for myself one time, and there must have been like 50 of them. Anyway, the one that you see most astrologers use is this part of fortune, because it shows you where you have good luck with money. And in our society, that's something that most people are pretty interested in. So how it is arrived at, it's actually a formula between the sun and the moon and the ascendant. And I don't have that formula right on me, but I did want to point that out, because you'll see this glyph a lot in coming up in people's wheels and in astrology charts. So that's a good place to keep an eye too. Now, I think at this point, I'm going to just say adieu, because I've got enough stuff that I think I can talk about in another discussion. So I think I'll just say bye for now. And I keep saying this is a lot, I'm finishing up, but there's always more and more and more. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. And just remember to like and subscribe. And from here to there and there to here, funny things are everywhere. I really appreciate you guys subscribing and everything. It really helps my channel. So, and commenting, if you want to do a comment, just, feel free to even just give me an emoji, would be really fun too. Oh, and one time I had a person say to me they didn't want to subscribe because they didn't want to get all these emails. Don't worry, you don't get any emails at all. So it's just kind of just showing support for the channel. So anyway, thanks guys, and see you next time. Bye.